Welcome back, Fran. How's it going? Nice to be back on the Brave Pod.
Hey, Pop. Let's roll. What are we talking about today?
Today, we have a little treat for everybody who's been tuning in on us through our personal channels. Um, so, we have a website, thanks to you, with a lot of amazing content and a possibility to sign up for the 14th of February. And on that website is um, a little scribble, a little piece that we call the Manifesto. I would like to share it and also talk about it, whether this is the best way to describe what Brave Space is about.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious about how people resonate. Should I just read it? All right, the Brave Space Manifesto. It starts off with a quote of Nelson Mandela. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave woman is not she who does not feel afraid, but she who conquers that fear. So I edited the he into a she because it's 2020 fun, and Nelson would agree, I guess. And it goes on as follows. From the depths of my existence, I must confess, I wake up every day in need of the courage, stamina, and strength to take another step overcoming my doubts and fears. I stopped denying and distracting myself from the pain of my traumas, big and small. That is why now you can find me in the arena. I do not shy away from the dust and dirt anymore. The bruises and scratches are a testimony to my resolve. I will persevere. My heart beats deeper thinking of the view beyond my momentary struggle. My past will not define my future. I will. The present is where I practice the discipline to love myself and grow, despite the discomfort of growth. When I lay my tired body to rest at the end of the day, I find myself wondering if I am the only one. I long for my tribe, the women and men who look their fears in the eyes and refuse to look away. My people who encourage shedding the shackles of shame. My people who embrace me when I feel discouraged. My people who know that we are brave for ourselves and our kin. If you are out there, I celebrate you for your blood, sweat, and tears. Grit your teeth no longer by yourself. Let's unite. Be joyful. Come home. That's it.
That's it. Yeah. There's a lot of depth in there. I know you started writing it. And then we just made a few edits together. So I'll let you sort of like speak your truth when it comes to that manifesto first.
Yeah, I think I tapped a lot of it from my personal experience, just considering the mental journey in resilience and overcoming very old programming, so to say. And I think the biggest truth of it for me is the fact that I am able to be tired and bruised and proud and not shy away from not accept emotional pain as something that's gonna change my resolve. I feel like a lot of it for me, the example in the text is about the body, but I think mostly it's about our emotional body. If I think of the realm of courage and bravery, and overcoming that fear and finding people who are doing the same, is why I am doing all of this with you, just as much as I hope to add value to people's journey. I know for a fact that everybody who I facilitate and teach adds value to my journey. So I am also looking for my people, my tribe in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. The thing that I would probably add is that there's a beauty in speaking out something that we all have either troubled to articulate because we haven't done the the radical self-inquiry yet, or we haven't had the time to, or we haven't had the space to, or we're just at a different part of our journey yet. And what really resonated with me when we put this together is to uh, help others understand that it's okay, that it's actually okay to like struggle sometimes, that it's
Mhm.
a, you know, that we're trying to give freedom to that very particular feeling, that we want to normalize the discomfort around it, that we don't think that it needs to be that it needs to be existential in the way we feel about it, but more about the, you know, it can be existential, but we shouldn't feel alone and with it, right? We shouldn't like go through it all on our own.
Mhm.
And while there's so well, a lot of us have, like, you know, the friends, the family, the, you know, around us who can help us with it. Sometimes those relationships sort of like, um, we hit a certain wall with those relationships, and then it just
Very
it
true.
means a lot to come together with a group where people are going through the exact same thing right now, right? This is why it's so powerful, for instance, when entrepreneurs come together and share their journey, right? Because there's
Mhm.
so much that they can learn from each other, the way they grow business, right? And I said to you before, before we started, like, all business is spiritual, right? And
Mhm.
everybody has a different spiritual journey when it comes to like leaning into the business of life, right? And so how do we make sure that people continue to share that and continue to feel interconnected in that journey? And yeah, and the coming home part is really what struck me, right? Like, releasing ourselves from the heaviness of it and coming home and feeling a sense of belonging, and safety in all of that we're daring. So
Very
yeah,
beautiful. Thanks for sharing that.
yeah,
I'm very curious about, like, there is this saying always, it's lonely at the top.
yeah. Yeah, it's
And
so yeah,
I have seen plenty of people not at the top feeling lonely. So whatever your highest climb is, you might feel lonely there, you know? And that is why I think everybody can feel alone in their journey, and it's so much more joyful to know that other people are also climbing their own mountains and overcoming their boundaries. And I'm
yeah,
curious how this little piece of text, the manifesto, resonates with whoever reads or listens to this, and whether they have anything to add or evolve, as this brave space community is something that where everybody's word is just as valid as others, and the importance, I guess, that the
yes, the
intention why
intention
we're gathering people together is to yeah, train that muscle of bravery, but also just the knowledge that it's easier feeling not alone, to be like, hey, it's okay, I tried, banged myself up, didn't get any further, realized I was doing it wrong again, and people are celebrating me for that, and I'm gathering the energy and just the excitement to do it again. um, that is what matters. Then also, when you get home, like it says, you get home with a big smile instead of just a deep sigh. There's more there.
It sets you free, right? In a way, like uh, the expectation of not needing to do it alone sets you free,
Mm,
because so much of what new journeys and are about is like the uncertainty, the
mm,
unknown, those are all good things too. Um, but it's so much more meaningful and fun if you can share that. There's so much more meaning in sharing it and dwelling in it and understanding it, and asking questions and looking
mm.
for answers and knowing where to do that. Um, and it creates so much more mental energy. This is what I meant with setting it, it sets you free, creates so much more mental energy when you know that this part of, hey, if I don't know something, or if I feel like I'm losing my mind, or if I'm going through a particular challenge right now at, in this particular endeavor that I'm having, but I know where I can go and ask that, then there's so much more residual mental energy to like actually do the creative work and actually be the creator of that new life chapter or the new venture, or whatever it is that you want to be. And so I think this will also give us, as creators of Brave Space, the opportunity to offer like so many different, almost like verticals, to particular type of groups to come together and find each other.
Yeah, it's very true. Just the foundation of it, that it's a place where you don't have to be ashamed or feel guilty about whether you're making progress or not. You're just showing up because you're dedicated.
Yeah.
Effort. You just want to put in the effort, and instead of feeling like a victim about whatever, you want to gather the energy to take another step. And if you feel hurt or are down and you do feel like it's too much, and that there are people there that know what it's like, and they actually salute you for your effort, and that way you get back up quicker. It is for me, like, this bravery thing is basically a delta between how long it took you to get up.
100%.
And
I
if
call it the Berkeley mindset.
yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And as far as different verticals, I completely believe I see so many, like what we share, being coming from broken homes or having experienced divorce, just all the bravery that it took us to get into a relationship, to commit to a relationship, to acknowledge that we have some sort of fear revolving around a relationship. All these things, I see a lot of people struggling with it, especially when relationships are not working,
Yeah.
and just feeling bad or like an outsider or left out when you keep trying and not succeeding. Well, actually, a place where we are acknowledging that these are things that we can learn, and that they are maybe the most scary things that we have to do in our life.
Mhm.
Um, it excites me to create a place where people can unite in that sense.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I hope to that we can create the intimacy for very special topics to become more open, you know, like topics that um topics that are touching all of our hearts, but that we all are a little scared or yeah, just a little scared to talk about.
Mm.
Um, like relationships, right? Like I think that's a lot of, like any sort of fear, really. Any sort of moment where where we would need bravery, but it's covered in fear. Um,
Mm.
and then like, peel it, and let the bravery come out and be unleashed.
Super.
How do we? I think what I would love, before we finish this, is to almost like give a shout out to everyone and say, like, give us feedback on that. Right? Does it resonate? Does it
Mm.
not? What would you want to see in a manifesto? Is this the right kind of manifesto for a brave space? Is it too heavy? Is it too short? Is it too not nuanced enough? Is it too nuanced? Anything is up for a discussion.
That's a great shout out. Every bit of freedom or feedback is helpful. Yeah, it's helpful. I think what we're trying to do is create something that resonates with people, and finding the right words and imagery that wakes you up, and you're like, hey, I know that feeling. I know what that's like. This is our first attempt, and we'll try to improve on it with your help even more. So that shout out is a great idea.
It's different this time, I find. And like this is a very different kind of venture. And I know you feel similarly, but like it's not the kind of venture where where I feel like it would be the right thing to come up with all the answers by myself or in collaboration, between the two of us. But it really feels like it's supposed to be this sort of like community, based creation. Where we're gonna learn a lot more and gonna know a lot more and gonna create better products by just doing what we're doing right now, right? Like pouring our hearts into the world and saying, what do you need? We're here to create it.
Yeah, it inspired me to suggest maybe when we're running the taster on the 14th and every other taster that we're doing the first couple of years, we should open it up, the manifesto, to like, hey, people, drop your memos and
yeah, good idea.
Just gather more feedback, because I think
whoever
gravitates towards us is a perfect person to speak out about the manifesto and whether it is already what it needs to be.
Cool. Let's do that. Let's create a document, and everybody will be able to access it from our website and can create it with us. Awesome.
Thanks for this awesome pod again.
Thank you.
And we'll be catching up soon.
As always.
Brave Space out.